We're back with the Push in the Pile mock draft. On to pick number 13, Miami Dolphins, where you could throw a dart at this roster and hit a need. It has become dilapidated in certain spots, but I'm going to attack the cornerback need with obviously the news of Jalen Ramsey requesting a trade. We'll see if that gets done over the course of the weekend. Even if it doesn't get done,
bring him on down.
You still need a cornerback. I'm going Will Johnson, the Michigan corner, a guy who heading into this season, everyone had watched his sophomore tape and said, yeah, I draft that guy top 10 already, just based off of sophomore tape. Now, his junior tape didn't quite match up. He had turf toe, didn't have a pre-draft process in terms of a full testing run. But I'm going to bank on what I saw from that young man in that national championship season, that's what we get out of him in the NFL. And for the Miami Dolphins, really, he's going to be your starting corner. Like, this is like a position where if you don't have him, what are you going to do to stop Josh Allen? What are you going to do to stop any of the quarterbacks in the AFC if you don't have any corners?
Yeah, and that's what I think about when I think about drafting all these spots. Is not necessarily what works for you, but what's not going to work for the other guys that you're playing against. Will Johnson makes that a difficult day at the office for a lot of those teams in division. At number 14, another Michigan man. This is the Colts pick, a tight end, Colston Loveland.
Love it.
You rave about this guy and his ball skills, his explosion, his ability to play the tight end position and be a dynamic threat for the defense. Now, you say everything that Tyler Warren has, this guy's got as well, and in some cases more so. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I fell in love with Tyler Warren, and that's why I had him higher at number 10. But I think Ben Johnson had the same experience that I did. Colston Loveland to the Colts. First off, the Colts is in his first 5 letters of his name.
Yeah, he's almost there.
He's a dyslexic
Colts
Coltson.
Fan. Yeah.
Colston Loveland, tight end, Michigan. That's what they're going to say. When you've got a young quarterback, when you've got questions at the quarterback position, the way to remedy some of those growing pains is to have that safety blanket. And I think this guy right here can be just that for the Colts and what they're trying to accomplish on offense. It'll be interesting to see how he fits in and what they do at the quarterback position moving forward, but Loveland will not be a question mark in that offense.
And I think if you are now, Anthony Richardson, I don't want to say the jury's still out on him, but it's like he needs to show something, right? And very quickly, or else I think, we could be halfway through the season and he's not the starting quarterback anymore. But when you are in that situation where you have that young quarterback, you don't want to find yourself in a scenario where you're like, did we do enough around him? Like the Chicago Bears were for years with Justin Fields, where kind of the Carolina Panthers are right now with Bryce Young, where it's like, we don't know if he's the guy because we have a terrible roster around him and the guy might not look like the guy behind this, right? So I think if you're the Indianapolis Colts and you throw him one more weapon, you give him Colston Loveland and go alongside guys like Michael Pittman Jr., Josh Downs, and Adonai Mitchell, who you drafted last year, that's more than enough to say if he doesn't make a leap this year, that he's not the guy.
Yeah, and it's not a wasted investment. Like that investment will be utilized on whoever the next guy is that wears the crown in Indianapolis.
So for the Colts, I love this fit for them. All right, number 15, Atlanta Falcons, where I've gone edge, I think, in every single mock draft I've gone here. I'm not going to... Dude, Falcons fans are probably edging right now. For Michael Williams, the Georgia defensive end, who, don't look at the sack production. He was in the Trayvon Walker role in that defense. He was a 3-4 defensive end more often than not. There are reps, though, of him rushing off the edge, most notably against a guy named Kelvin Banks. He had a forced fumble in that game against Texas.
Oh, boy.
He is long, he is strong, and he knows how to use his hands. I think he's less of a project than people are making him out to be. Less of a project than I'd even call Trayvon Walker coming out. Not as physically gifted, obviously, but a unique frame that is built to win in the NFL. So for the Atlanta Falcons, just best edge available. You don't have to be too picky with it.
What is it, Athens or Rome? Where in Georgia is
it's,
Athens?
Athens, yeah.
There's something in the water in Athens, dude. All these Bulldogs are just built a certain type of way. A je ne sais quoi.
It's called 5-star recruiting.
In the water. Yeah, 5-star recruiting. A lot of cash, I would imagine. Headed down there to the UGA locker room, but good for them. All these guys are just NFL ready. I remember when I was in the league, it was Alabama. If anybody came out of Alabama, they were ready to start year one. They were talking that trash that, a lot of these young guys say, my team in college could have beat this team. That's how bad you guys are. And, some of them probably were right. At the number 16 spot, I'm going an Alabama guy.
Good
Tyler
segue.
Booker. What's that?
Great segue.
Okay. Alabama guy, Tyler Booker. I fell in love with him when I saw him on film pancake a defensive lineman and do a forward roll and land on his feet.
Do a barrel roll.
People often think that guards tackles, centers, any of these offensive linemen, they're lumbering, they're not athletic. This guy disproved that theory to me in the first 5-10 plays I was watching of him. He loves the game of football. He understands leverage. His ability to double team in conjunction with the guy next to him and understands being one half of a blocking assignment on these double teams is great. And for the Arizona Cardinals, you've got a quarterback who, let's just face it, he's not a very tall guy, okay? And what do you want for a not tall quarterback? You want a solid dish on the interior part of your offensive line. I always mention Drew Brees and the offensive line that he had. It was built inside out. Carl Nix, Jari Evans, keep the interior of the dish strong so that little guy back there doesn't have to panic. He can see everything. Tyler Booker will make sure you're not panicking.
He has elite tape and pass protection, in my opinion. And if you're the Arizona Cardinals, looking at their guard position right now, Evan Brown at left guard, that's a massive upgrade. You have a chance of a double team combo though with him and Paris Johnson that could be special. And your blindside's clean for a decade, right? That is, you pick him. Kyler Murray won't have to worry about that in an Arizona Cardinals uniform. What it does to your run game
too, front side and back side. It's unbelievable.
So Tyler Booker, I would love that pick if I was a Cardinals fan. Number 17, Cincinnati Bengals. I have them going Oregon defensive tackle Derek Harmon. I've seen mocks where he's going at the back end in the first round. I don't buy it at all. I think this is his floor. Now, I'm going to say it. I think this is his floor. I don't think he falls to pick 21 like people are saying to the Steelers or to the early 20s. I just don't see it. He has everything you want in a defensive tackle prospect. He is the most versatile defensive tackle in this draft class. Look at that body type right there. When you can see definition in a DT's arms the way you can in his, that guy's going to move people. That guy's going to move people at the NFL level. He did at the collegiate level.
Big, strong arms.
2 gap, 1 gap. He can do it all. And his testing, man, going sub 5 seconds in the 40-yard dash at 315 pounds, he's a player.
You know what? When we're doing this draft thing, less picks of arms. I want to see more butts and thighs on here, okay?
He's got those too.
Folks in the control room, if we can get some more glutes on the screen for Derek Harmon, it might prove our point a little bit.
Get the end zone copy of all 22.
You talk about the definition in his arms, and I just think about the competition that he played against. And some guys, whether they look like they can go or not, they can just go based on what you see on tape. Derek Harmon's done it for a while. I think it fits. And at the number 18 pick here, we've got the Seattle Seahawks. And I was on the app formerly known as Twitter this past weekend, and I was having a couple conversations with people about offensive line prospects, and people are latching on to some things that I've said about Kelvin Banks. And while you probably should do that because I'm right until proven wrong, Kelvin Banks is a really good player, and if he's available at number 18 and the Seattle Seahawks are there obviously still, and there's been no trades made, they should jump at the opportunity to get the University of Texas offensive tackle. I think he's game ready. He is somebody that can help settle Sam Darnold down in his new city. New team, new organization. He's used to having good tackles. We saw that last year in Minnesota. It's never a bad thing to go get an offensive lineman. I know John Schneider has been outspoken at times about the lack of value, in his opinion, at the offensive line, particularly the interior. Well, if you're not into interior, go get an exterior offensive lineman.
I love Kelvin Banks. He's the top offensive tackle on my board. I think he is just a really, really good all-around offensive lineman. For the Seahawks specifically, I think you kick him left guard, put him next to Charles Cross, where you have Salto Laumea plugged right now. But you could even, Abraham Lucas has had so many injury issues at right tackle. Obviously, when that tackle duo is healthy, it's a quality duo, but Abe Lucas just never seems to be. So maybe he's your right tackle and Abe Lewis becomes a swing tackle, and you feel like you can find answers on the interior with Christian Haynes, who you drafted in the 3rd round a year ago. So we'll see.
Crazy draft because Will Campbell went 4 in our mock, and Kelvin Banks is the top-rated tackle.
So that's how I see these. It feels like one of those, like 2020. Like 2022, where there's just a group. In 2020, it was Tristan Wirfs, Andrew Thomas, Jedrick Wills, Mekhi Becton. 2022, it was Evan Neal, Ike Ekwonu, Charles Cross, right? And in both of those classes, the last tackle drafted of them ended up being the best one, Tristan Wirfs, Charles Cross. So we shall see how that ends up faring out in this one. But it's not a bad year to need an offensive tackle. A lot of these guys on the rise. All right, the picks 13 through 18. Dolphins go Will Johnson, the Michigan corner. Colts go Colston Loveland, the Michigan tight end. Falcons go Michael Williams, the Georgia edge. Cardinals go Tyler Booker, the Alabama guard. Bengals, Derek Harmon, defense tackle from Oregon. Then the Seahawks grab Kelvin Banks, the Texas offensive tackle.